sagas of a fate determined.
As heathens, we're not Vikings. Now, I know I'm sat here wearing my Viking kit, but that's because it's the Jorvik Festival.
In York City. Yeah.
I'm a reenactor. I'm a living history interpreter by trade. So yes, I am sat here dressed as a Viking, but I am not a Viking. I'm a heathen.
There's many different terms for it. I think heathen is the most normal one that we use, only because paganism in general is so diverse, it's hard to define it. That's why I usually use the term, I'm a member of the old ways. And that's what I like to stick with, because it is a very old faith, and we're very proud of it, aren't we, at the end of the day? So yeah.
Always try to not define it too much deliberately. Keep it a nice wide umbrella, and that is, as you might find, that when you have an inclusive approach to that and a wide perspective on what constitutes people's beliefs and practices, your organisation grows. What is heathenry? If you ask 3 heathens, you'll probably get 12 opinions.
So heathenry is a paganism within the paganism umbrella. But then within heathenry, you have heathenisms. You'll have ASATRU, you'll have ASATRU, you'll have theodism, there'll be Odinism, and there's a couple of other slightly more distinct ones like Rockatru or even Thursatru, which is a very unusual branch.
Jack Thomas Hudson, stand up!
Did you enjoy that?
That was brilliant.
So, Jack, man has no small ideas. Always looking up to something bigger. A man who is striving forward and has the perfect stature for it. We are here to honour this man. No.
You bastard.
How would I explain why we're called ASATRU UK? Well, it's quite simple, really. It's probably going to be the most common thing that that heathens and pagans will tell you that they researched. The first thing that they Googled will have been Norse religion or Viking religion, and they will find the term ASATRU. That'll be the thing that will come up, and it sounds cool, right? You read it, go, oh, ASATRU, yeah, that's quite a cool name for a religion, and I quite like the sound of that. It means ASATRU, true to the gods. Yeah, that's me. When you look for those organisations, if you find American organisations with the term ASATRU in it, they're definitely going to be 100% far right. So to counter that, we set up ASATRU UK because we're an inclusive organisation and we believe that anybody can be heathen.
I've had 1 or 2 people messing privately. What do you mean inclusive? What, including who? What? So I said, well, put it in very, very simple terms. You're at a ritual. Would you be happy to celebrate a ritual and pass the horn? Well, we don't do that now after COVID, but we used to. Pass the horn if there was a trans person on this side of you and a person of colour there. Would you be fine with that? Well, of course.
I started properly transitioning in my gender when I was like 14, 15, and I was just very much feeling like an outcast, and so finding a God who also was in a lot of ways an outcast but had strength in that and still managed to have community and have a sense of self within not just being an outcast but also being fluid in gender and species and everything. Through that I became more interested in Norse paganism generally.
Me and a few colleagues set up the Defence Pagan Network within the military, which was something I'm really proud of, because when I first joined the Navy, you had to put, you didn't technically have to put, but you were pretty much told you had to put a monotheistic religion on your dog tags. You had to go to church on Sunday. You know, you were openly mocked for saying that you were pagan of any type.
The world is not set up for paganism. We're having to adapt to be relevant in the world, and actually we're finding out a lot of people really appreciate that, but we don't have anywhere near as much dogma as a lot of other religions do. We don't have official titles. We have Gothies and Gythia. They're priests and priestesses. We have Volva. They're, I guess, like witches, but probably way cooler. But they're not titles you choose. You don't just get to be one because you want to be one. Your community chooses you. It's a great honour. But within that, we've lost so much over the last 1,500 years that we don't know what we're doing with some of the stuff that we could do. So we having to create our own culture again within the context of our understanding.
Started feeling this connection with Odin, and he basically encouraged me to go into churches and be like, look, this is a community of people who are able to have their spirituality together, and it feels totally wrong to you and it is not your religion, but isn't there something amazing about being able to have a connection with people who share your religion?
I've done rituals to ram the goddess of the deep underwater, which was a real privilege, because most people, if you visit her hall, you don't come back. So
All people.
she looked after me through my career. She didn't always make it easy. There were times when I thought she wasn't going to let me come back, but she always did. And
I hit 50 18 months ago. So at that point in my life, I was always somebody who was afraid to die. And now I am not. So Hel is a goddess that I identify with. Somebody who runs the afterlife, who looks after relatives that have gone before. So Hel is a deity that really resonates with me.
After all the issues and I got out of hospital, my partner, who is Norse pagan, funnily enough, mentioned Freya to me, and the name just kind of tweaked in my head like that. So as soon as I got out of hospital, I climbed a mountain. I left an offering for Freya, and I have been in perfect health ever since. I also started to get a lot of messages from Freya. So sometimes they say deities can contact you through animals. So I actually had a fox approach me in the middle of the night when I was very upset and walking home from my friend's house, and the fox actually let me stroke it.
A lot of pagans interact with the gods. I've never had a god interact with me, ever. Okay, for me this is my faith, and I operate on faith. It's faith-based. I believe this. But I know this is what I need to do. I can't stop. I have to keep going. I have to do this, because if I don't, I will go clinically insane. So that's what drives me, is making people happy and seeing them smile and bringing people together.
What a powerful ritual we have just witnessed to Odin, All-Father. If he is with us now, we must ground. Want you all to close your eyes, take deep breaths, bring that rhythm down, nice and slow.
The way that people feel in AUK, it feels like a community. You may not see these people for months, maybe a year. They're your kin, they're your friends, your family. That's the thing that has the big draw to it.
This is my sort of purpose in life. Everything I do, going back to uni, was for this. I do the job I do now because I get to teach kids about history and about Vikings, but that all comes back to my heathenry and everything I want to do in life. And I'm supported by these wonderful people around me, and I can give back to them as well. So if you're looking for community, if you're looking for acceptance, and if you're looking to be able to venerate your deities with other like-minded people, then get involved and come along.
Don't be alone. There's so much more of us absolutely crazy people out there who will totally understand you. No matter who you are, your gender, what you look like, we don't care. It's not about that for us. We just love a soul. We love souls, we love people, we love spirits. Bring your happiness.
And that's the most important thing, that you aren't alone. There are thousands of us now, and we're allowed to do this again. That's the one of the most magical things about the age that we live in. For all the horrible things going on around the world and all the division, there is a community growing where we genuinely care about people.
The honourings that we do was actually Jack's brainchild, and he hoped that because it was his idea we wouldn't do one for him.
Jack Hudson is a name that all heathens should know. In the mists of a blizzard in early 2013, a few heathens met in the upstairs room of the Golden Fleece pub here in York. Followers of the old ways, so long divided in this country, struck out to build something we desperately needed, a community. Jack Hudson was amongst the organisers of this event and one of the attendees of this first moot of ASATRU UK.